everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Classic PPV edition of the Josh Zodiac Podcast, the podcast that has no real agenda and no real script, as far as you know. No quirky, this is the podcast that is fill in your blank. We're not going to do that with the classic ones, only because.
How about this? This is the podcast that forgot how much of a turd Michael Cole was back in the day. How about
that? You know what? I like that. This is the podcast that forgot how much of a turd Michael Cole was on commentary back in the early 2010s. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, such a hater, especially
if pertaining to the pay-per-view. I like that. I think I'll go with that. With this being in February, and of course, we are recording this a little bit sooner than normal. And I'm going to wear a hat that will go with the company that we will be reviewing. As you can tell, I'm wearing my D-Generation X hat. So we'll be doing a WWE/WWF show. And this month, we are going to be doing the 2012 Royal Rumble, which is a year removed from the first and last 40-man Rumble.
True.
I don't know why they did a 40-man. They didn't have enough talent to put people in there. They had like a ton. I think they had Bubba Ray in there. I think Big Daddy Cool Diesel was in there.
Maybe they were testing the waters to see if maybe it was something they could do to make the Royal Rumble more interesting. Yeah, but I'm like, guys, I was not a fan of it. But with that being said, this pay-per-view attendance was 18,121 people. Took place in St. Louis, Missouri, which is the hometown of the Viper, Randy Orton. Pay-per-view buyout was 443,000 people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of money. If you think about back then it was what, $30-$40 a pop? At least 30, yeah.
Give or take.
Plus tax.
This was the 25th annual Rumble, which makes sense.
The silver anniversary, as they kept calling it.
And our commentary team this particular go around was Jerry the King Lawler, Booker T, and of course that douchebag Michael fucking Cole. I love Michael Cole now, but back then he was such a douche.
Yeah, he really was. He really laid it on thick.
But moving on to the first match, we have a world heavyweight title match in a steel cage. Oh,
good way to start. Good way to start the show.
Big Show versus Daniel Bryan versus Mark Henry. And again, this is for the world heavyweight title. And a note that I took from this is that they said that you could either be pinned or you could escape the cage. And not just from the door, but you can climb out. And I know Jesse the Body Ventura is going, you know something, we used to be able to do that. And it makes his justification at the main event a couple months back very, very justified. So,
well, I've always argued that if you're in a cage match, you shouldn't be allowed to just walk out the door and win the match. I mean, if nothing else, make a stipulation where you can only climb out or pin, or hell, just take the climb out option out completely.
Yeah.
And make it so, you know what, 2 people go in, 1 person comes out, straight up Beyond Thunderdome type shit. You know what I mean?
And the door should be locked.
I agree.
All the entrants are in there, the door is locked.
You know what? How about we make a cage that doesn't have a fucking door? Both guys get in the ring, the cage lowers. That's it. They're stuck in there. They can't go nowhere.
How about the one from Spider-Man? It was 4 corners and it folded like a fucking cube. That was fucking cool.
Bullseye is ready.
This again, we mentioned this before, but this is back when Michael Cole was hating on everybody, especially Daniel Bryan, calling him a nerd. And it's like, oh my God, I forgot Michael Cole was such a douchebag back in the day. So these are some notes for the match that I caught in the package before. Daniel Bryan came out first, and anybody who's watched wrestling knows when the champ comes out first, it's never good.
Not always.
Not always, but most times just like, oh crap. And he's facing 2 dudes that are like 3 times his size in the Big Show and Mark Henry.
Pretty much.
Leading up to this, I think Big Show had a match with Daniel Bryan, and he was chasing Daniel Bryan, and AJ Lee got in the way, and he just fucking flattened her.
I'll never forget that.
Like she wasn't even there. And Daniel Bryan, you're a monster. You she's 95 pounds. I can't believe you did that. He just Daniel Bryan just laid into him, made Big Show feel bad.
He was crying afterwards. That's how bad his character felt.
You know what I mean? It was legit bad. What were some of your takeaways from this match? Because this was actually a pretty decent match.
You know what? I thought the same. I mean, the fact that it had a decent little storyline going in between Bryan and the Big Show really kind of added to it. But you know what? First off, I can't blame Daniel Bryan for trying to escape right away. He does this a couple of times. Who the hell could blame him? If you have that stipulation, take advantage of it, especially when you're in there against two behemoths, two former world champions, I might add. I think Mark Henry had already won by then. But you know what? This right here is what I would want from a triple threat match. All right. You got both the big guys beating on each other throughout the match. You've got each one of them taking turns beating on Daniel Bryan throughout the match. And even Daniel Bryan himself, he actually manages to take advantage or get the advantage over both guys at some point during the match. It doesn't last very long. You go toe to toe with a fucking giant, it's not going to go well. I don't care who you are. It'd be worse if it was Rey Mysterio, but we won't get into that. But no, this is exactly what I would want from a triple threat, especially a cage match. Plenty of people getting thrown into the cage. I don't have too many complaints on this. I really enjoyed the finish too. How I think Bryan tried to escape no less than like 6 or 7 times throughout the match, and then at one point he's on top of the cage and he's dangling. The Big Show tries to pull him back in. He's literally, he looks like he's holding him by his skull. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like he's like, okay, I'm going to pull you in, you little shit. But then he drops him, and Daniel Bryan finally lands on the ground and wins. So, all in all, not a bad start to the Rumble.
No, it wasn't a bad match at all. Just, you know, like you said, that the two big men were pretty much handling business. Bryan is like, okay, how the hell do I get out of this fucking jam? And looking in for any and every way to get out. But yeah, Big Show, it looked like something straight out of a movie, like, oh, don't let go of me, or grab my strong hand. This is my strong hand. And he lets him go, and he hits the deck, and it's over, and he retains. Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, yeah, fun match all around. Yeah, fun match. I lost my train of thought there for a second. Sorry.
I was going to say, well, what would you rate the match out of 5 stars?
Well, thankfully, they were smart enough to have this match not be super long, because when you have two big guys like that who aren't exactly like, you know, they kind of run out of juice pretty quickly. Thankfully, they cut it off. They cut the match down before it got to be, you know, okay, guys, you're dragging ass after a while, because, you know, they kept it short and sweet. I think it was like, what, 10, 12-minute match, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I'm going to give it, what the hell? I'll give it a 4. I mean, it wasn't a boring match. It was short and sweet. All the right marks are hit. It wasn't a perfect match. They could have made it more interesting, maybe throwing some weapons in or something. But I don't really have too many complaints on it. It was a fun start.
I gave it 3.5. Like I said, it did have a little story going into it. I would have liked to have seen a little more offense from Daniel Bryan. Again, he was just, but you know,
he tried. At least he tried.
He tried. I'll give him that, but I would have liked to have seen more offense from him prior to all this. But yeah, definitely give that a 3.5 stars. Not perfect, but not shitty either. It was right in the middle, or pretty close to the middle. Next, and this reminded me, I'd forgotten how laughable the women's division was, what, 13, 14 years ago? We had Kelly, Eve Torres, Alicia Fox, and Tamina versus the Bella Twins, Natalya, and Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix at the time was the women's, was it the Divas title? Yeah, it was the Divas title. This was Nikki Bella pre-boob job, so you couldn't tell the Bellas apart unless you were really, really good.
It's all in the face. It's all right here.
This was also before the Jimmy the Superfly Snuka controversy, so Tamina was still out there doing her thing. The whole murder, I think, is what it was.
I forget exactly what it was, but I always hated the fact that she never got a decent push in the company. I feel like she wasn't half bad in the ring, but we never really got a chance to really see her display what she could do.
And I think this was early on in the social media in WWE taking advantage of social media to get the brand out there, because they kept talking about Facebook. I think they talked about MySpace at one point
I'm
too,
pretty
if I'm
sure
not
they
mistaken.
did. WWE, they're all about, showing off how great they are and kissing their own ass. Sorry. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's an
Oh, yeah.
unfortunate truth, but it is the truth. So,
I won't lie, I was not invested in this match. This felt like a total divas
mm,
match with 2 sides. I just was not invested at all in this match. I mean, we've come a long way in 13, 14 years with the women's division, but I don't know how Nikki Bella can sit there and say that she paved the road for the future stars of WWE. I don't think she did. I think people like Natalia and Beth Phoenix did more than
I
anybody
agree.
else. And they were the ones that were actually trained on how to wrestle. Nikki and Brie Bella were more like a Trish Stratus at the time. However, Trish actually put in the time and became a female main
Yeah,
eventer
and
down
got
the
good.
road.
She really put in the hard work for her craft. And that's one thing I
Yeah.
hated Trish Stratus when she first came in. I couldn't stand her. I was like, okay, yay, another TNA ballet, whoop-de freaking do. But then she started wrestling and she got good. And it's like, all right, it's kind of hard not to give you any respect right now because you're fucking killing it out there. So, yay, Trish. And fucking turned 50 and she is still gorgeous. Holy shit. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I'm sorry.
That's all I'm going to say
Yeah.
about that. But you know what? Yeah, I agree with this match. As soon as I realized who was in, what the match was going in, I was like, well, I'm going to watch it, but I know I'm not probably going to get too far into it. But at least they kept the match very short and sweet. It wasn't a very long match. I think it was less than 10 minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 7 or 8. Pretty
Yeah.
much. First off, I thought it was a smart idea having the heel team all have the same colors. That way, it's easy to tell who's on what team. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
at least you put the effort in on that, so it's easy to notice. Every woman pretty much got their own moment in the ring, as brief as it may have been. So it's like, all right, at least you're letting everybody have their turn. That's fine and dandy. And I'm not the biggest Kelly fan. I never was, but it was nice to see her do that dive off the top rope onto all the other ladies that were on the outside. And a pretty quick finish by Beth Phoenix. And I loved her finisher move, how she dropped them on their face, turned them over, and pinned them. I forget what the move was called, but the glam slam. Thank you.
I wrote it down. That's how pretty much I forget who she hit with that. I think
it was Kelly. Yeah.
Kelly. I don't remember.
Which is
And she hits her with the glam slam and gets the win for Team Phoenix, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. So
yeah, so on that note, what would you rate this match?
Honestly, I mean, yeah, I give them credit for it being short and sweet, but it just didn't do anything for me, and there wasn't a whole lot of great wrestling going on. So I give it about a 1.5. There was no storyline going in with this. There wasn't anything else to kind of make it exciting, kind of get me invested outside of just, seeing a bunch of gorgeous women wrestling. But considering that only a few of them can actually wrestle and the rest of them are just kind of there to try to do the best they can, which I give A for effort.
Yeah.
For anyone who at least tries to get in the ring. Candace Michelle, I'm looking at you. But remember what happened to her. I feel bad for her. But
that nasty bump in the corner. God, that was disgusting.
sure as fuck did. But yeah, 1.5. There's not much going on with this match. This is not a match that I want to see over and over again. So
I gave it 2 stars. Like I said, I wasn't really I was on my phone a good chunk of this match just because I just wasn't invested. I didn't care. There was no purpose, so to speak, except just to give the women a match at a fucking major pay-per-view. I would have rather just seen Beth Phoenix versus Kelly, and I would probably would have been more invested in that than a 4-on-4 Survivor Series esque.
You know what? If they had made it an elimination style match just for the fun of it, maybe that would have added an extra fun element, but not so much.
Yeah. The next match we have Kane versus big match John Cena at the height of his boo campaign.
Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. That brings back.
Yeah, there was more boos than cheering, and I'd forgotten about the dark
I hadn't.
times. I'd forgotten about the dark
bring
times.
Me pleasure.
This was in the middle of the Eve Torres, Zack Ryder, John Cena love triangle that was. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Kane had pushed Zack Ryder off of the ramp here in Corpus. I think that happened here in Corpus. I could
have to
be
look.
wrong, but I remember it happening in Texas.
I have to look into that. I'm not sure.
I have to. A lot of boos for John, like a lot of boos. Like, and this is pretty much John Cena interjecting himself into something he didn't need to. Pretty much trying to stand up for Zack Ryder, and he was like, "You've done enough, and so he makes the match with Kane. This match was fucking pointless because they both end up outside the ring. They're fighting each other, and they both get double counted out. No contest, no winner. But per my notes here, after they keep fighting after the bell, Kane ends up going into the back, grabs Zack Ryder in the wheelchair, and takes him all the way to the entrance ramp and flips him out of the chair just to throw him back in the ring and just assaults him. And then Cena comes in and he assaults him too. And then Eve gets in the middle, fresh off of her match, begs Kane to stop, but Kane Powell drives him straight to fucking hell. And then Cena gets a choke slam for his troubles. This is one of those matches that I could have done without. This match really had no purpose. It's one of those things where they didn't want to put the title back on Cena at the time, so they had to find something for him. And this was the best thing.
There weren't too many major highlights during the match. At one point, I think Cena tried to go for like a bulldog, but then Kane just swatted him, just kind of swatted him away, like, Ralph Macchio and the Karate Kid. And at one point, he took way too long, in my opinion, to deliver that 5-knuckle shuffle. I think it was like off the top rope or whatever the fuck. It's like, I always feel bad for any competitor he's in the ring with who has to sit there and lie there and wait for him to deliver that move. Same thing with the people's elbow. It's just insulting, in my opinion. But I agree. This match there wasn't anything exciting. It didn't really need to happen. The only interesting part was what happened afterwards, after the no contest, after the count out.
Yeah, that was the most fun. And unfortunately, that wasn't the match. So that did not affect my rating of the match. That being said, what would be your rating of this particular match?
Quite frankly, this is your standard. Cena gets his butt kicked for the majority of the match and then comes back and potentially wins, but he didn't win, obviously. But it still follows the same simple formula. It's a tired formula for me. I am so sick of it. I was tired of it way before this match happened, as far as I'm concerned. I give Cena all the credit in the world in the past, but quite frankly, this was I give it a 2, and I'm being generous because the match itself was but the stuff afterwards was actually more interesting than anything that happened here. It was fun to watch, between Ryder getting his ass handed to him and Cena getting a choke slam. And Eve Torres, you know what? She was pretty good at getting all teared up. I give her credit on that. That shows the actual emotion.
And of course, it's funny, like later on in this storyline, Zack Ryder catches Eve Torres and John Cena making out backstage, and it sets up a feud between Cena and Zack Ryder, which, again, John Cena wasn't going to fucking lose that rivalry.
Hell no. Are you kidding me?
I gave it a 1 star. Again, this is a match that didn't need to happen. This could have happened on Raw the next night.
It could have.
Seriously. This could have happened on Raw the next night. This match did not need to happen. Moving on. And this is in the middle of CM Punk's 434-day title reign, which at the time was a record. We have CM Punk, who's a champion, versus Dolph Ziggler. And this is, I want to say this is before his cash in, or was it after? I don't remember. I just know he cashed in with Big E and AJ Lee. And then AJ went all psycho on it.
Well, actually, before we get into that WWE title match, you glossed over a match.
I did.
The Drew McIntyre versus Brodus Clay and the
Oh shit, I did. You know what?
You know what? It's kind of hard not to, because quite frankly, this match only lasted 1 minute 5 seconds. It was about as close as the definition of a squash match.
I think Drew's promo, much like Totally Buff from WCW Greed, was longer than the match, and it's weird to see Drew McIntyre. He wasn't as big as he is now, and he wasn't as bearded as
Nope.
he is now. And people forget how over Brodus Clay was,
Which
at
is
the time, especially
which
with
is
the Punk
weird
tag.
because when he was in NXT, they promoted him as like this powerhouse monster type character, but then as soon as he came on the main roster, he was doing this shit, and it was like, what happened? What happened there, guys? That's a complete 180 from what you had in mind originally. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Oh yeah, and this was before 3MB
yeah,
too.
and I'm just really surprised.
This is before
It's really
that.
surprising how over it got. Not to mention that one of the Funkadactyls is still a current wrestler right now who is taking time off because she's going to have a baby. So, Miss Naomi, hope you're doing well.
I wrote on my notes here, was Drew always an ass? Question mark.
Yeah, pretty much. He just at least he looks like a cool ass now as opposed to back then where he was just.
I totally forgot about that, man. I skimmed over it. Real quick, what would you rate it?
I give it a 1.5 just for the fact that it was a squash match. It's like I don't even know if I want to count it as a match, considering how quick it was. But
Again, I compare it to the Totally Buff versus what the fuck what was
it was it was Sean O'Haire and Chuck Palumbo in the tag team championship match, no less.
Yeah, at least there wasn't a title involved in this one. I gave it a 1 star. I'm like, and I almost gave it a half a star. I'm like, you get to see young Drew and Brodus Clay back when he was over. Now he's not so much, or in the company per se.
But now
we can move on to the World Heavyweight title match between CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler. Now the storyline with this is, hold on, I gotta do the impression. I haven't done this impression in a while. Hello, everyone. I am John Laurinaitis, and I am the founder of People Power.
Haven't heard that shit in a long time.
This shit hurts my throat now. I can't do that impression anymore. But yeah, pretty much John Laurinaitis inserted himself as a special guest referee for the match, which he ended up becoming the special guest referee enforcer. He was ringside. I'm like, okay, whatever. This is back when Dolph was still coming out with Vicky Guerrero. And the ref, or John, I'm sorry, John actually tosses Vicky from ringside before the bell even rang. I'm like, okay, he's trying to counter favor with CM Punk.
That's all it is. That's all that and the higher ups, because they were threatening to fire him at that point because of his actions and whatnot, because he felt like he was being a little bit too involved with the story, especially as it pertained to CM Punk.
In this match, we do get a ref bump. Shocking. But with the ref bump, Ziggler is in the Anaconda Vice, and he's tapping out, but there's no ref because John Laurinaitis is conveniently checking on the other ref, like, are you okay? I'm not doing that voice.
Yeah, don't do that.
Shit hurt. And then CM Punk picks up Ziggler and doing a tilt-a-whirl, he takes out John with fucking Ziggler's
smacks him on the side of the head.
What is it? Ziggler does hit a zigzag at one point, but only gets that 2 count. And then and I know there's a lot more in this match that goes on.
That's cool. I always take some notes on some of the aspects. So
CM Punk hits the GTS for the 1, 2, 3, but when the ref is going for the count, John had to jump in the ring.
Yeah, with the ref.
Before Raw tomorrow.
No, you're not seeing the big picture here. He jumped in the ring just to back up the referee in case his arm went out. That's all it was. Just in case he needed the help.
God, you sound like Michael Cole. What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? That's my job on commentary, to be the dick.
It was stupid.
I get, and again, this is Laurinaitis at the time was one of the bigger heels in the company, and he was just. This is before the Authority too. This is like 5-6 years before the Authority hit, when they turned Seth Rollins to the Authority.
You know what? I don't I don't think the Shield had even debuted
we hadn't even
yet.
seen the Shield yet.
That's a good point.
We didn't see them until the summer.
Good call.
And that's when CM Punk and that, for some reason, went from being a babyface to a heel when he has Paul Heyman at his. I mean, why are you turning him heel in the middle of a title run? That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I guess they feel they needed a villain champion. So
I guess so. What are your thoughts on this?
You know what?
Match?
Not bad for a title match. I never felt like Dolph Ziggler was really all that great in the ring, but quite frankly, watching this match, I feel like maybe my memories are a little bit off because I don't know. I feel like he did a good job of keeping Punk kind of grounded for the beginning of the match. This was a very technically sound match. It wasn't like the half-ass punchy brawl type fight that I was expecting. This was, fairly technical, which is good. I like kind of matches.
Yeah.
But as interesting as the match was with a little bit of mat wrestling going on, it did get a lot more interesting after that ref bump with CM Punk having the match won 3 consecutive freaking times. It's like,
yep.
I was starting to think that maybe Ziggler was going to win back in the day when this match happened. I was like, okay, you just screwed him 3 consecutive times. He's losing that title tonight. But thankfully, that wasn't the case. And it continued on with, as you said before, a very long title reign for CM Punk. Good for him, too.
And it was, like I said, it was a great match. Ziggler always brought it. Even when he came back for the John Cena, the last time is now tournament, he showed up against Solo Sikoa. So it was refreshing to see that he still has it. And
he put in a damn fine performance that day when he came back so many weeks ago.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. That being said, what would you rate this match?
I'm gonna go ahead and give it. I feel like it was about as on par with the opening title match. Just one of them was a cage, the other one was more of a technically inspired match. So I'm gonna say, especially for all the stuff afterwards, I'm gonna say a 4. Not a perfect match, but not a boring match by any means. This was a very interesting match all around.
I also gave it a 4. It wasn't perfect. But I during CM Punk's title reign, it felt like he just had a string of great matches and a string of talent he was helping put over. But of course, they weren't winning, obviously. But this definitely was a great match. Only to a year later, when all hell breaks loose with The Rock, and
that still hurts. That still hurts.
It does. I know that's a discussion for another time, but I will say that was complete. And that was when Rock brought one of the shittiest title designs I have ever seen. It sucked. It was horrible. They should have kept the spinner belt. And then when they did the block logo, okay, fine, we'll do it. But no. People hate on that spinner belt for so long. It's a great belt. I mean, it's a little flashy, a little bling, but it's
a very recognizable belt. But for me, it's not one of my favorites. If you want to talk about great looking spinner belts, go see the U.S. title belt because that is the best one. It was great. It was flashy, but it was subtle at the same time, and it still had it was nice and colorful. The other one, just I don't know, it's too much. But.
And now we move on to the main event, the Royal Rumble, which the announcer had said that the winner will get a title shot at WrestleMania, not a main event title shot at WrestleMania.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they got it right for a change. The Miz and R-Truth had a match to see who would be number 1. Unfortunately, the Miz lost that match. It's funny to think of the history that R-Truth and Miz have had in the past decade plus. But we have the Miz coming out at number 1, who it was usually if you're coming out number 1, you're the workhorse of the fucking Rumble. You're going to be in there.
Yeah,
for a
usually,
minute.
not always, but usually.
Now, number 2, and this was not too long after their falling out, was Alex Riley, who at the time or prior to this was Alex Riley was Miz's protege, his
personal ass kisser.
Yeah, and then Alex Riley got enough of it and turned against him. And the fact that they were number 1 and number 2, we already knew who was going to the outcome.
Yeah, Alex Riley did not last very long. He got eliminated before number 3 even came in. So
I will go over the list and stop at ones that I have interest in. R-Truth came at number 3. Then Cody Rhodes. And this is before the mustache,
Yes.
as a matter of fact.
I'm pretty sure it was before.
Before. Justin Gabriel, who I always like Justin Gabriel. He has such a great theme.
Not only
song,
that,
too.
but he was really fun to watch in the ring. It's a shame he never really took off.
Yeah.
Yeah, one half of the tag team champions. They were like the cousins of Carlito, I think. So
yeah, I think
after that, Mr. R-Truth actually gets eliminated by The Miz. So
okay. Oh, so you got the eliminations already.
I got it all written down.
All right, then we got Mick Foley coming out. With everything going on with Mick Foley right now, that definitely
that's very interesting. But Mick Foley is soon after he gets in the ring, he actually does eliminate Primo. So Primo didn't last very long.
No, he didn't. And then everybody thought that Alberto Del Rio was back, but no, his personal ring announcer Ricardo Rodriguez comes out and this fucking beater had tape on the window. So you know what? That is fucking funny.
Because they announced the music, the crowd goes wild, the car pulls out, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute, that's a piece of shit. Del Rio don't ride pieces of... Oh, wait, it's Ricardo. Oh, that's right, it's Ricardo. Holy shit, I forgot. So
and then after that, one of my favorite superstars from that time, Santino Marella. And we have Mr. Sacco versus the Viper, a fight that we all have wanted.
Yeah, and before that happened, Justin Gabriel actually got eliminated by both Mick and Ricardo, working as a team for about 2 seconds. So go figure. And then right after Santino comes in, Ricardo actually got eliminated by Santino. So there you go. It really is.
And it's funny to note the year prior, Alberto Del Rio was the last man standing, but Santino was outside the ring. He never got eliminated. And he thought he threw out he threw out Del Rio. He does a celebration, the trombone, and then Del Rio throws him out. So I think the year prior to that, he had the 1 second blunder where he was in.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah, and that's still the record to this day. And it probably won't be broken.
I don't think you can beat 1 second. He literally got in the ring, got thrown out, done. That's it.
Number 10 was Epico, which is the other half of the tag. No, that's a different tag team.
No. Yeah, you're right. He was part of a tag team with what's his name? Did I just mention a second ago? Primo. Yeah, they were a tag team for a period of time.
And then
after this, there's a string of eliminations. Epico comes in. Epico gets eliminated, and I'm just going to throw it out there. He gets eliminated by Mr. Sacco. Bottom line is he pushed him out while he had the mandible claw on him. It's Mr. Sacco. So Mr. Sacco's first and only elimination that I'm aware of in the Royal Rumble history. And then Santino gets eliminated by Cody. Go figure. And then Mick gets eliminated by Cody soon after. And Cody actually did have a handful of eliminations throughout the show. So he was one of the ones that had the most at this point.
And then we have at number 11, back when he was still Jamaican, Kofi Kingston.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute, I got a big problem. Didn't used to be Jamaican.
That was funny.
I'm sure you'll bring up the handstand.
Oh, yeah.
Bit. But number 12, back in the action, Jerry the King Lawler from the commentary team has a moment.
No kidding. That's actually funny. And then, you got Cole just throwing shit at him the whole fucking time, just talking crap. How dare you? What the hell? You're supposed to be doing the worst hypocrite of the night.
Oh, big time. Oh, big time.
You're supposed to be doing your job. You don't need to be in the ring, but whatever, bitch.
Then Ezekiel Jackson, little flash in the pan there.
Yeah, and Jerry Lawler did not last very long because Cody got his third elimination in on Jerry. But you know what? He hit his main points. He pulled the strap off. He did the fist off the top rope.
That's what he was paid for.
Yeah, pretty much. He got double duty, double pay. No big deal. But yeah, Ezekiel Jackson and
Number 14 is soon to be WWE champion in about 10 years would be Jinder Mahal, who Yeah, yeah, Jinder Mahal. That's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say, Jinder Mahal, the greatest world champion we ever had. No, horrible.
I actually wasn't watching during his title reign because I've had so many different times
Yeah.
over the years where I just stopped watching for a while. So there you go. Next up, somebody I think they said he was like a cousin or some crap to Jinder.
A brother-in-law.
Yeah,
Number
there you go.
15, the Great Khali.
And he does.
Now I don't have to stab you.
Yeah, and he doesn't waste any fucking time. He actually Khali eliminates Jinder Mahal pretty quick from the match. So go figure. And then after that, Ezekiel Jackson gets eliminated by the Great Khali as well. So it's one of those big guy gets in the ring and just starts eliminating a couple of people right off the bat.
Yeah.
So
after that, we get Hunico.
Do you know who Hunico was? Do you remember who he was?
I don't. It's been a minute.
He was Sin Cara originally before the original Sin Cara showed up.
I did not know that.
Yes, the guy showed up as Sin Cara, but then it turned out he wasn't the original. There was somebody else who was, and then the original showed up at the company, and they had a little bit of a bout for a while.
I do remember that. Yeah.
And then eventually Hunico had to take the mask off and just became a regular wrestler. And unfortunately, the way I remember it, his career just kind of went after that. So it's unfortunate. But
after Hunico at number 17, we get another part of the commentary team. We get Booker T. Can you dig it, sucker? And of course, they never showed them from the chest up, but they were all in their ring gear the entire fucking time.
Yep, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm glad the illusion on television hid that from us.
No kidding. But to his credit, Booker T does last at least a little while. Not too long, but long enough.
He lasts longer than Jerry the King Lawler did.
Yeah, he sure does. He sure does.
Fresh off of his title match, we get Dolph Ziggler back out there,
which I find to be a little interesting because typically in Rumble history, if you participate in any kind of a title match before the Rumble match itself, you are not in the Rumble. That's your one opportunity to try to get the title before WrestleMania. And if you lose that title match, you're fucked. You're screwed. You don't get to do it. But this year they broke the record. They broke it twice with Dogs
for 2 different times. Yeah,
exactly. So go figure.
And then one of the few legends that we get out, we get Hacksaw Jimmy Dugan. Comes out there with the freaking with the 4x4 and chants a USA, just Mr. All and fun fact, Jimmy Dugan is the man who won the first Royal Rumble, but it did not have title implications. It was just a match.
Nope, it took a couple of years before they did that. After Hulk Hogan won twice. Suck it, Hogan.
And it's funny because Vince thought the Rumble was a bad idea. Patterson's one like, dude, to be a good idea, it could be a pay-per-view, and here we are. Yeah.
Well, you know what? That would eventually come to bite him in the ass when he tore both his quads after
Karma the bitch. And then we get the third and last member of the commentary team who took like a minute and a half to get out of his fucking suit.
No
shit. That is Michael fucking Cole.
And then he's got to put his little headgear on and all that crap. But
the time it took him to get in the ring out of his gear was time for the next entrant to come in. And this next entrant scared Michael Cole so much that he pulled himself over the top rope, running his mouth until Booker T and Jerry the King Lawler pulled him out. And that was number 21, Karma, who I think got pregnant not long after this Rumble.
It's very, very true. She does get pregnant, and then she had the bow out, but she never got a chance to come back. But before the whole Cole thing happened, unfortunately, Jimmy Dugan, he didn't last very long. He actually got eliminated by Cody. Another Cody elimination. So we're seeing a
pattern here.
And then both Booker T and the Great Khali both got eliminated at the same time, but they were both eliminated by two different people. Cody eliminated one, Ziggler took throughout the other. So there you go. You took out the big guy pretty quick But Karma, again, she doesn't last very long either, but thankfully she does actually get an elimination in the match. She actually eliminates Hunico very soon after, which is fine because every woman who has ever participated in the Rumble match up until this point, how many were there? Do you remember?
She was number 3.
She was number 3. Who were the other
China, Beth Phoenix, and then Karma.
All right, cool. They all have been able to eliminate at least one person from the match before they go over. So,
Yeah.
But then, yeah. So,
at number 20,
and I'm sorry, Karma got eliminated by Dolph Ziggler of all people. Go figure.
Number 22, we get Sheamus. Definitely one of my favorites back in the day, and still.
Oh yeah. I was definitely a big fan of Sheamus after he beat Cena for the title way back when, in a tables match, no less, and he got a lot of shit for that.
Yeah,
a lot of people were hating. Oh, hey, can you win with a tables match? You didn't really win. He's my Irish champion. Shut the fuck up. But yes, you brought it up earlier, Kofi. I don't know if this was the first year he did his little beautiful little not getting eliminated act where he gets thrown over the top rope and he's kind of dangling, but then he ends up on both of his hands on the outside of the ring and literally walks his ass to the freaking steps and gets back in the ring. But like any other time he does that, typically he doesn't last very long afterwards. And unfortunately, he doesn't here. He actually gets eliminated by Sheamus soon after. So,
and this is the first Rumble ever, or it hasn't happened since, that all members of the commentary team were in the Rumble. So it only happened once, and it probably never happen again.
Let's keep it that way. I don't think I'd want to see that again, unless Corey Graves just decides to get back in the ring one day.
Yeah. And next we get another legend representing D-Generation X, the Road Dogg, Jesse James, going out there and getting the hits, as always.
You still got it.
Yeah, there was some "You Still Got It" chants, which I thought was cool. Were there any eliminations prior to that, or
nope? We 4 entrants in a row without an elimination. Go figure.
And then we get, before they tagged him as main event, we have Jey Uso, one half of the Usos.
Before he got all those tribal tattoos too,
and also he had long hair.
Mm-hmm.
He had the long hair at the time too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to go back. This was the early years for him. He'd only been in the company, I think, like a year or two, and he was in NXT for a while. So
yeah,
it is so crazy to go back and see that.
Then we get our United States champion, Jack Swagger,
the All-American American. Before this started,
the people. that was a hit around here. Down here in Corpus with Fabian and all them. We definitely were loving that.
That was a hit, along with another one that we used to do back in the day. Millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of dollars.
I forgot about the part-time players. Fuck yeah. He's now on the commentary team, but this is like fresh off of the Nexus and everything. And before he decided to be a big boy and grow a beard, we've got Wade Barrett. Who didn't last long. He did not last long in the Rumble.
Not too long, but he does eliminate the Road Dogg when he gets in. So.
Yeah. And then we have David Otunga, again, fresh off of the Nexus.
Yeah, they're all just kind of trying to find their place in the company at this point.
Yeah. This is back when he was still married to the girl from American Idol, Jennifer Hudson, I think.
Jennifer Hudson, gorgeous. Very gorgeous.
And then we get the hometown favorite, Randy the Viper Orton, comes out, and I would have preferred if he RKO'd everybody in the ring, but we didn't get that, unfortunately.
No, but he does a good job of doing a little bit of cleaning house.
He did clean house.
He threw out Jey Uso. See, Jay, you'll get your title shot in about 15 years. See you later. And then he eliminates Wade Barrett as well. So, but then number 29. One of my personal favorites of all time. The
return of Chris Jericho, who had been on a 2-year hiatus prior to this.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes back. Of course, the crowd goes fucking nuts because everybody loves Jericho.
Well, I love his light up jacket too. It was real nice.
And then number 30, who also had a title match earlier, with the Big Show, comes out. And if I'm not mistaken, he's going out there. Jack Swagger is running his mouth. And then Big Show just clocks him right in the fucking jaw. Just knocks his ass out. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, before the Big Show, we had David Otunga being eliminated by Chris Jericho, so he didn't wait too long to get rid of somebody. Jack Swagger actually technically got eliminated by the Big Show, who was still standing on the outside of the ring. And then, yeah, just like you said, he was talking noise. And I love how they showed the punch in slow-mo because you really see the impact. And it's like, oh, how did you not break his face with that?
Well, he hit him like right on the nose. It wasn't the jaw, it was right on the nose.
Yeah, but still, it's like, you could have done a lot of damage doing that shit. And from this point, it's just a string of quick eliminations. As soon as the Big Show gets in and punches out Jack Swagger, he actually eliminates both Cody and The Miz simultaneously with a clothesline over the top rope. So number 1 and number 4, they both go out at the same time. But you know what? Give The Miz credit. He lasted all the way to number 30. Yeah. Not too many people can do that.
No.
And even Cody, he had like 5 eliminations for the match alone.
Something like that.
So not too bad. Dolph Ziggler, he doesn't last much longer after that. Gets eliminated by Big Show. And then we get down to the final 4. We got Big Show, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, and Sheamus. And at this point, we've only got one former Rumble winner. Who is it?
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton, who won in 2009.
Well, Big Show came close one year.
It came close, but he thanks to all that
Sheamus has never won one. Chris Jericho has never won a Rumble match, and Randy Orton won one not too long before, and he would win another one in like 5-6 years,
something like that.
Yeah, it was 17, so he has 5 years. We get those quick eliminations from both Big Show and Randy Orton. So we have the final 2, which is Jericho and Sheamus, and they just go all out on each other. They do a couple of spots where they're outside the apron trying to not fall out.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally what ends up the end of the match is Jericho is kind of hanging on outside, and Sheamus turns around and sees him and sets up the bro kick and just fucking clocks him right in the jaw. Jericho is gone. Sheamus is going to WrestleMania 28 to pick a champion of his choosing. And anybody who's watched WrestleMania 28 know that the number 18 will be very significant in that particular WrestleMania.
No shit.
Yeah. And I remember watching that at Molly's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did.
There in our little group. And right before the match started, I said, hey, look, if Sheamus wins, Jaeger shots. And I still have that video. I need to find it. I have it.
Yeah, you do. You do. I'd love to see it.
I have that video somewhere, and I'll have to put it out there somewhere. But we all take Jaeger bomb. Yeah, Sheamus won the Rumble, won the title. Jaeger shot. Yeah.
I get a free drink. Yay.
So with that being said, with this Rumble, with all the chaos that was, what would you rank, or what would be your rating of the Rumble? The Rumble match, not the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. The Rumble match, honestly, it's clear they didn't have a whole lot of main event talent for this match because a lot of the main players did not come in until towards the end. I mean, The Miz is a former champion. Clearly, he was at the previous WrestleMania and defeated John Cena, thanks to The Rock. Thank you very much. Setting up their year-long fucking bullshit. But you know what? Honestly, because they didn't have a whole lot of major star power and there wasn't really, aside from the Kofi thing and the Ziggler face punch, and maybe watching Sheamus and Jericho do get out for like 7 or 8 minutes afterwards, which is good. I like it when they do that. They give them a chance to really just kind of keep us in suspense because, like you said, they teetered on the ropes a lot during that little last spot. I give it a 3 because I don't feel like there were too many main surprises, not too many major, like moments that stand out that I'm going to remember for all time. And the fact that we had all 3 of the commentators, it shows they really didn't have a whole lot of people to vie for the championship. I'm happy that Sheamus won, don't get me wrong, but how many big name players were actually in this match? Not as many as some other Rumbles. Not as stars studded as they like to throw out there all the time. So
I don't know.
I give it a 3. It's not a terrible Rumble. It's not a terrible Rumble. It was very fast paced because it was only 1.5 minutes between entrances, which I think is the perfect time. 2 minutes is too long. 1 minute is too quick, in my opinion.
So 1.5 minutes is perfect.
1.5 minutes is very perfect. Gives you time, especially if your entrance takes forever, which some people do. Undertaker.
I do know that. I do remember when I was watching this a couple of days ago. I do remember watching this and be like, it wasn't a bad Rumble. It wasn't a horrible Rumble. It wasn't. I think the 40-man was worse just because you had too many people. I think 30 is a nice number.
Perfect.
No
number.
More, no less. Definitely had the outcome that I wanted. I definitely would have I would have liked Jericho to have won it too, but Sheamus versus who would end up being Daniel Bryan just made sense to me.
And yeah.
So for the match overall, I gave it 4 stars. I thought this was a great match. Definitely probably in the top 10. Maybe I could argue top 5 if I really, really watched all of them. But definitely would put that in the top 10 Rumbles of all time. Definitely was a great match. And the way it ended, it looked like it could have gone either way. And it did go either way at one point.
Honestly, I wouldn't have had a problem if Jericho won. It does, as a big fan of Chris Jericho, it does it bums me out that he has never won the Rumble. It's one of those things that he should have won several times, but he never did. And it's a damn shame. So,
well, if we're recording this in December, but rumors were saying that Jericho has signed a WWE contract. So if that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised if either Jericho or Gunther won the fucking Rumble this year.
You know what? Considering that number one, Gunther has, I think, the record for the longest stay in the Rumble match a couple of years ago, which was the first time I ever saw him.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would love it if Chris Jericho comes back for a final year. This would be the retirement year that I can totally get behind, because I have been a big fan of Jericho ever since 1996 during the NWO days. Yeah. So, but you know what? I wouldn't mind it if he won the Rumble and went on to WrestleMania to finally, at least win the Rumble. He doesn't have to win at WrestleMania, but at least let him have that one thing. The one thing he's never done. Because he's done everything else.
Yeah, he really has.
So why the hell not?
With that being said, what would be your letter grade for this entire show?
Well, let's see. You got 2 good title matches, 1 solid Royal Rumble matches, and then 3 matches. You had a squash match, a pointless Cena match, and then a Divas match that didn't do much for me. So you got 3 good matches, 3 not so great matches. So that kind of brings down the grade a bit, doesn't it? I'm going to give it a B-. That's what I'll give it. I mean, you do got some good matches, but then you got other things that are kind of dragging the score down just a little bit. Not by too much, but, there have been better Rumbles where you had a lot more great matches going along the way. And nowadays, it's easier, I think, because you have 2 Rumble matches and not just 1.
Yeah.
So you have 2 opportunities to have a very star-studded, fun-ass freaking elimination fest, so to speak, and then maybe throw a couple of title matches in there just to spice things up. So
yeah, I agree. The Daniel Bryan title match was a pretty decent match. I could have done without the women's match. Again, that could have been a match on Raw, or they could have just done a title match for the Women's Divas Championship. Could have done without the Cena versus Kane match. The Brodus Clay match, that again, no need to be on a pay-per-view. No point. The CM Punk Ziggler match was pretty damn good, especially with all the drama with John Laurinaitis. And then the Roman match was pretty good too. I mean, granted, we had the 3 commentators on there, but I think they were injury heavy at the time too. So it made sense to do what they had to do.
Yeah, they make do with what they had. So you take that for what it is, but there's never been any other Rumble like that. So
I also gave it a B- grade. So great minds think alike. I thought it wasn't a top-notch pay-per-view, but it wasn't shit. So yeah, I give it a B-. It was definitely a Rumble match worth watching again. But with that being said, this will conclude the review of the 2012 Royal Rumble, the 25th silver anniversary rendition of this particular pay-per-view. Next month, this is pre-Attitude Era. This is like a year before the Attitude Era. Actually, less than a year.
Actually, about give or take 6 months, because the genesis was the seeds were being planted by this point.
Yeah. And that will be the 1996 Survivor Series. Oh my.
I've never watched it, believe it or not.
I watched it yesterday. I'm glad we'll talk about that when we review it, but I'm glad that they have done away with the elimination style matches, because they are fucking boring. They are boring.
There are some times where they can be exciting, like the 2001 winner takes all WCW versus
Yeah,
WWF.
that had happened.
But
Yeah,
but I agree, if there's no story behind it, they sometimes tend to fall flat. That's
yeah.
unfortunate, but that's why we have war games.
See, War Games is a lot more fun. You get everybody in there, and then the match starts, and then all hell breaks loose. It makes more sense. But yeah, that'll be next week's. I'm sorry, next month.
Next month, sir.
For the month of March, that will be the month of March's classic pay-per-view review. With that being said, Psycho, promote yo shit.
Alrighty, well, you can find me so far strictly on YouTube. I'm the Psycho Nerd at the Psycho Nerd Podcast. I just put up a new episode. I finally hit double digits, number 10.
Remember, we're filming this in December. It's coming out in February, so you're probably going to be up to like 11 at this point.
Actually, I'll be more like closer to 15 by this point, but you know what? That's fine and dandy. But you know what? I'll keep it simple. At this point that we're recording, you can find me on YouTube, the Psycho Nerd Podcast. That's also on my YouTube channel, the Repeat Movie Viewer. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, I would have returned to being back in front of the camera, because unfortunately, I haven't really been doing it since Fantastic Fest, which I did like a review for every movie at a theater reaction that I just kind of fizzled out. But there's going to be some more goodness coming up. I guarantee that. So,
and with this, the Josh Zodiac Podcast, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify for the audio and the video version, on YouTube. We also have a Facebook page. Just search the Josh Zodiac Podcast. We'll be putting up news and little nuggets of information on that particular page as well. We also have a TikTok where we put the YouTube shorts on there as well to get more fandom out there. Just make sure that you're subscribing, and following all forms of media, trying to get those numbers up. We also, myself, the Psycho, and my buddy Lord Scuba Cabra, do another podcast called The Real Movie Review. I don't have the list of what February is going to look like yet. I know January is shaping up. We're finishing up the December stuff right now, because again, we're filming this right before Christmas.
Oh yeah,
but you can
4 days. 4 days. 4 days to go.
You can definitely find that podcast on Spotify for the audio and YouTube for the video. Still working on Apple Podcasts. I just haven't done it. I just don't. Yeah, just pain in the butt. There's also a Facebook page for that. Also, in the description down below, along with the Psycho's information, you'll also find my Linktree page that will take you to everything I just mentioned. So make sure you subscribe, follow both the Josh Zodiac Podcast and the Real Movie Review, and of course the Psycho Nerd Podcast. So, with that being said, for the Psycho Nerd, I am the Josh Zodiac. This has been the Josh Zodiac Podcast Classic Pay-Per-View Review. We hope you enjoyed it. Next month again will be the 1996 Survivor Series pre-Attitude Era. So, with that being said, this has been the Josh Zodiac Podcast. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, in the world of Superman, be the Green Lantern. We'll see you next time.
Nerd.